Stock market volatility capturing candidates' attention from both sides of the aisle. So for those who express themselves on Twitter, we have a rundown for you. Donald Trump, in the midst of a meltdown yesterday, tweeting, "Markets are crashing, all caused by poor planning and allowing China and Asia to dictate the agenda." He then went on to say it could get very messy and finally vote Trump. Former Arkansas Governor Mike Huckabee wrote, quote unquote, "Sadly, the chickens are now coming home to roost for the Obama administration and its failed economic policies." From Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker, Americans are struggling to cope with the fall in today's markets, driven in part because China actively manipulates its economy. And Bernie Sanders chiming in, saying for the past 40 years, Wall Street and the billionaire class have rigged the rules to redistribute wealth to the richest among us. While staying on politics, Democratic strategist Christy Setzer is with me now, Independent Women's Forum Director of Health Policy, Hadley Heath Manning as well. Christy, I'd like to start with you. Does Sanders' comments show that the Dems don't have positive PR when it comes to the economy and when it comes to this idea of free markets, which we all salute?
No, it shows that Bernie Sanders knows how to take advantage of a talking point, and that's what he was using yesterday's crash as. Look, he's been wanting to talk about his agenda to reform Wall Street for quite some time now. But look at his base. The people that support Bernie Sanders are the people who want to, Occupy Wall Street. They're the Occupy Wall Street people a little bit grown up. They're also the Elizabeth Warren crowd who think that, we need to put restrictions on Wall Street and, stand up a little bit more for the average investor and for the little guy over Wall Street investors. So what happened yesterday was actually kind of a good thing for Bernie Sanders because he got to talk about this agenda a little bit more.
Okay, talking about that agenda a little bit more, Hadley, I want to bring you in on this point because Christy just mentioned something really important. I saw overlap between Donald Trump's vision for taxation of Wall Street, that is to say that carried interest tax for hedge fund managers, for private equity managers. It looks and sounds a lot to me like Hillary Clinton's. Does that strike you as odd as well?
Well, it's no surprise because I don't know what will happen in 2016, but 2015 feels like the year of the political outsider. On the left, you do see Senator Sanders. On the right, you see Donald Trump, and both of these people are positioning themselves as candidates who are outside of the political mainstream, outside of the political establishment. They're saying things that a lot of populist voters like to hear, and that's nothing surprising about what Mr. Trump has to say, especially since he doesn't have a record, really, of being strongly conservative when it comes to issues like taxes and Wall Street.
So, Christy, how would you see, picking up on what you said about Elizabeth Warren and fighting for the common person, how would you see a ticket that has Sanders-Warren or Biden-Warren?
Which one would I prefer?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, those are both pretty hypothetical tickets right now. But I do think that, when there's been this talk about Joe Biden pairing up with Elizabeth Warren and going to her and having a private meeting with her, obviously what he was trying to do there, he was making the cold calculation that, look, progressives right now are in Bernie Sanders' camp. How can you peel them away? You go to one of the most popular people among progressives, Elizabeth Warren. So then he has the traditional support that he can peel away from Hillary Clinton, and he gets some of the support that he can peel away from Bernie Sanders. That's what we were talking about there. That could be a dream ticket. Who knows?
All right. And Christy, getting back to you as far as blaming China or just the blame game, what is your take on everything that we're hearing from Trump all the way through?
Yeah, so Donald Trump knows who his audience is. He knows his voters. He knows his base. And these are, for the most part, downscale Republicans who've seen jobs go overseas, and they want someone to blame, and they want, whether it's Mexican immigrants, whether it's China, et cetera, they are looking outward to blame those people. So he knows that comments that say we need to crack down on China, we need to crack down on Mexico, is going to play very, very well with his base. You've also seen other candidates follow along with him, right? We've seen Scott Walker say, that we should just cancel that state dinner with China. because he knows how well it's worked for Donald Trump, and he wants some of that support as well.
All right, short and sweet. We thank you both, though, for joining us there. Christy Setzer joining us there, and Hadley Heath Manning. We have a quick break to take. When we come back, an extremely volatile